There are a lot of folks who get a chill just thinking about a site that is said to be haunted. Some individuals are completely enthralled by the prospect of exploring the eerie nooks and crannies of haunted places, while others flee in the other direction. That being said, what takes place when a church is haunted? A historic monastery in Spain has been the focus of a number of terrifying tales throughout the course of its history. The specter that is claimed to be lingering in the church is the reason why it is renowned as a haunted church. Which of these tales is factual and which is only a myth? A well-known food market known as La Boqueria, or the Mercat de Sant Josep de la Boqueria, can be found in Barcelona, where it is situated in close proximity to the lively La Rambla. Everything from fresh veggies to classic dishes can be found inside the fenced area, which has become a fixture among Barcelona landmarks in recent years. On the other hand, there was a period when it was a site of worship, and it ended with a visit from the devil himself. The earliest reference to the La Boqueria dates back to the year 1217, when a few tables were established at the ancient city gate for the purpose of selling meat. Prior to the 1800s, the market was not recognized by the government and was not contained in the same way that it is now. Until the city made the decision to construct a roof over the stalls and acknowledge it as an official landmark, it was merely expanding and spreading. 1835 was the year when the eerie event took place, and the reports that circulated at the time suggested that the monks had gotten too casual in their methods of devotion. Prayer and the celebration of their patrons were the foundations of their whole tradition. Nonetheless, they did not even pray on the day when their patron saint, Our Lady of Carmen, was born. Only a single monk took the time to express concern about their deficient practices and brought them to the attention of those in authority. However, the prior of the monastery did not take the young monk's warning seriously, and the monks continued to act in a casual manner until the warnings came back to haunt them. After being roused from their sleep by the sound of singing, the monks in the monastery made their way to the church where the music originated. While they were there, they saw a choir of skeleton monks singing a horrible hymn. The monks of the monastery deemed one of the monks to be more frightening than the other. All of the deceased brothers of the order who had previously resided at the monastery were the skeletal monks who were singing loudly to them. Before lighting the lamps and guiding the ghosts back to their graves in the convent cemetery, the living monks waited in a fearful stillness until the singing had finished. However, after the singing had stopped, they lighted the candles. Before the chanting skeleton monks returned from their nightly choir practice, the graves of the skeleton monks were already open and did not shut until after they had finished their singing. When did the ghost monks make their appearance to them? What were they hoping to accomplish by reciting ominous psalms to their sons who were still alive? There are a few different accounts of what took place, and they all conclude with a violent and bloody conclusion. One interpretation of the narrative is that when the monks went back to the location where the choir had been singing, they discovered the young monk who had complained about the absence of prayer to be completely dead. It was never determined why he passed away or how he lost his life. There is another account that asserts that he was the only one of his brothers to survive the whole ordeal. To put it simply, the events that followed were a carnage. The reason for this is because 10 days following the appearance of the ghostly friars singing their ghost songs, the monastery was besieged and burned to the ground during the riots, and all of the monks who resided there were slaughtered. As a result of the riots that took place at the time against religious structures, the day in question became known as the burning of the convent. The reasons for the assaults on the convents are very convoluted and have a long and complicated history. The city of Barcelona was in a state of discontent, and a riot was brewing beneath the surface, just waiting for the opportunity to explode. The outbreak of rioting occurred after a particularly disastrous bullfight that took place at El Torrin, a bull ring located in Barcelona, not too far from the La Boqueria market. After seeing the bullfight, the enraged spectators transformed into a mob and began rioting. They began carrying the skulls of the bulls that had been beheaded around the city and setting fire to nearby churches. And the convent that is now standing, which is known as La Boqueria, was pulled into the chaos. The city of Barcelona made the decision to expand on the La Boqueria market after the demolition of the monastery. This decision was made in order to fill the empty gap that the convent had left behind. People quickly forgot about the bloodbath, and they went back to talking about the pricing of meat and vegetables across the stalls. They did not engage in hazy conversations about ghost monks and the appearance of the devil, at least for the most of the previous year. There is a tale that states that the monks return year to haunt the La Boqueria, which is a mark that is placed on the location where the monastery exists. On the day when the monastery was destroyed by fire, which was July 25th, you can still hear the spectral voices of the monks singing throughout the whole market.